Hello and welcome to Meet Our Makers, an artist interview podcast produced in association with Beats Per Minute. I'm your host, Jeremy J. Facette. On this episode, we get to meet Claire Rousay. Claire has just put out a brand new record called Sentiment, which is out on Thrill Jockey, but it's a bit different from her past work. Claire is best known as an ambient and experimental sort of soundscape artist, using found sounds and drone and other ambient textures to make her work. But on Sentiment, she includes more lyric-focused tracks and more guitar than ever before. In this chat, we really get into this new album, how it came to be, some of the inspirations behind it, the move from much more ambient soundscape work to this more singer-songwriter style, and how she tried to keep her experimental spirit intact despite the more lyric-heavy songs. We talk about her very particular choice of producing the vocals on this record with a sort of robotic autotune effect, and how she landed on that and what she likes about that sound. We also discuss the impact of emo music and folk music on her work, the general experience of interviews, and transitioning this album to the stage, and the risks and rewards that will come with that. It's a very candid, at times self-deprecating, and very down-to-earth conversation. And if you weren't a fan of Claire's work before, I highly suggest you check out both this new album and her past, more ambient work. It is all worth excavating. And then come back and listen to this chat. So thank you for listening. This is me meeting Claire Rousay.
Is there any language I should refrain from using?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, you can say anything. I don't think I have any reason to be nervous about what happens on my show.
Okay, cool. No, I just wanted to make sure because I got not the cleanest mouth. I'm working on it though.
That's fine. We don't need to worry about that. And weirdly, this is like this 70, I don't know, third or whatever show I've done. No one's ever asked that before.
Oh, whoa, that's crazy.
I know. I actually am surprised. Most people who do swear will just swear and not even apologize for it, which is fine. But I was always a little surprised that no one asks.
That's funny.
But
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
okay.
I've done it before where it's like I accidentally swear or I don't know the rules and I swear and then they're like, I realize that they have to go through and listen to it again and like edit everything out and I'm like, God damn it, I'm so sorry. Uh,
No, as far as I'm concerned, we don't have to worry about that. So,
awesome.
yeah. So, hi Claire, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right as well. I know you're in California, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm over on the East Coast, so it's 6 o'clock and dark here.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's 3 p.m. and I'm drinking my non-alcoholic Peroni. So it's like happy hour in the
Yeah.
sun here.
Is it sunny there now? Is the rain done?
hmm
Okay.
It's beautiful. There's my
Okay.
studio is like right next to on Thursdays. There's like a farmer's market.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
I'm like meeting somebody at like a cafe thing in the middle of it after this, and it's gonna
Oh,
be like literally the perfect day.
yeah, what a lovely what a lovely afternoon.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I've been upset for Californians watching all the weather news. So I'm glad that maybe that's subsiding.
I'm hoping. I mean, I think long term we got a lot more to worry about, but
No, I
I
think
I
no, I
think
think we're good. I think it's over.
catastrophes.
Yep.
It's
Totally averted.
yeah, definitely. No worries
Um,
at all.
so we are here today mostly in anticipation of your new album, Sentiment, which comes out, I think my notes, I always get nervous, my notes are wrong. It comes out April 19th,
Yeah, you're
I
right.
think. Okay.
I've had to check it like 100 times
Yeah.
too.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
So
So it comes out April 19th on Thrill Jockey.
yeah.
How are you feeling as we approach the release and now that you're able to kind of talk about it and share songs from it?
Well, pretty good. Like I don't know. I think the same way most people probably feel when this type of stuff happens. You don't really know like who's gonna like it or
Mm.
if anyone's gonna like it. But so far it seems like people have been pretty into it. I'm more than anything excited to play the songs um in a live setting.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um
So,
yeah.
because I was going to say the first time, I mean, you've been putting out music for quite a few years now. I mean, if someone takes a look at your Bandcamp, there's so many EPs and compilations and singles and albums. But I first came into knowledge of your work with A Softer Focus, um, which came out a couple years ago. But this one, Sentiment, is pretty different in some ways. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's
Yeah,
like the I don't know. It's like the pop album or something like that, but
yeah, but
a lot more singing and songwriting and stuff.
right. It's sort of being peddled as a singer-songwriter album, but it's still absolutely not what people would maybe expect from that genre label.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. For sure.
yeah, I mean, A Softer Focus had so much of that blend that you are sort of known for of field recordings and sort of these like conversations that you pick up and then backed with sort of ambient atmospheres and soundscapes and treated instruments and stuff. But on this new one, that still exists, but yeah, as you mentioned, there's a lot more singing. Um, I listened to it today. I want to say like roughly half of the songs actually have like a lead central vocal,
Yeah.
um, which is quite a shift. I mean, we'll get into the technique behind that in a moment, but what what led you to want to make a record like this versus more instrumental stuff again?
I mean, I've made songs my whole life, with a central vocal and guitar and stuff. But I haven't really put it out.
Hmm.
Uh, and I made a record with my friend Mari, who plays under the name More Ease. We made I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember. Called Never Stop Texting Me, and it was kind of like a pop, I don't know, like kind of glitchy popish record that came out on the label Orange Milk, which is a really great label. But I guess like publicly releasing music where I'm like writing words and then putting them to a melody was
Hmm.
it felt good. And I don't know, I like communicating an idea really clearly, rather than like trying to communicate an idea using more abstract tools.
Hmm.
Uh, it appealed to me to be a little bit more direct, which
Was it
is
ever a
funny.
challenging decision?
I mean, I think it's still like challenging now. Like I'm scared people don't maybe won't like it or
Yeah.
people will stop fucking with me like and think I like I don't know kind of like ran my course career wise or something like that because I'm like doing this now. And I'm definitely not like the best at it either. Like I'm not very good at singing or playing guitar or writing songs. So it's kind of like um there's like a confidence element to it too that
Sure.
I think, doing the field recording or whatever type music,
Hmm.
there's a responsibility that like I don't necessarily have when I'm
Yeah.
doing that versus this.
And I mean, it's fun. It made me laugh a little bit to hear you talk about your abilities. Mostly because we can dive in now for people who haven't heard the record yet. I mean, the vocals are very affected
Yeah, yeah.
on this album. Like, if anyone, I don't know exactly when this episode will land, but if anyone has heard, especially for the first single, Head,
Hmm.
I mean, that sound is the sound of the vocals on this record.
Yeah.
Um, what is that? Is it a vocoder effect?
No, it's just like straight up auto tune.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think the one for I mean for all the people that like care about which one I'm using, it's like the Waves real time auto tune plugin.
Hmm.
It's like $30, but you can get like pedals and stuff that do it too. But
Hmm.
I like the in the computer one because you can kind of you can record the vocal dry and then
Right, right.
apply the you know autotune. Um, and I'm not like the best at it, but I do really like that sound. Um, like when I first heard like I don't know like Young Thug using it and like
Mm,
Charlie XCX and stuff. I was like, whoa, this is cool. It would be cool if this was like over music that I mean, I like that music, but like it would be cool if it was over like guitar music or something. And a lot of people actually like who are famous and doing it, like Alex G and stuff, like are using
yeah.
autotune on their songs now. And I'm like, I not like I was there first or anything, but but it's a tool I like, like a lot. Some people like a lot of reverb. I like a
Right.
lot of pitch correction.
Well, it's funny because it made me think of like I've always had a soft spot for sort of like albums that feel like traditional singer-songwriter albums, but then sort of subvert something that's typically a core element of that sound. Like it made me think of how Grouper writes,
Hmm.
like melodies that are so full of emotion and aching melancholy, but you can never make out the words because it's so cloaked in and hiss and reverb. Um, do you think that was something you were kind of trying to do, was like kind of upend what would be expected from this kind of style, or was it just kind of the way you felt comfortable doing this kind of style?
Um, I think a little bit of both.
Mm,
I listen to a lot of music that sounds like what I make.
yeah.
But also, you know, being more direct, especially like using songs and lyrics and melodies and all that stuff. It's like scary to express yourself and be so vulnerable. Like
Hmm.
I think a lot of people in experimental music world and like the community that like I exist in or have existed in um kind of look down on people who make like songs or like pop music maybe.
Right.
But I think there's like, you know, you have to admire people's ability to be like that vulnerable and like saying how they feel so directly. So I think like maybe I'm talking about, I just said that I wanted it to be direct, but maybe I'm too scared to be that direct. Uh, just trying to put a little bit of space between,
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say and how it's getting to people. But I think we printed all the lyrics, so if somebody gets a physical copy, it should be on there. And I just did something, I don't know what it was, but like updated the Genius
Oh,
website or whatever. So like if people Google the song and look for the lyrics, they should be up there.
okay.
Um, so it like similar to the grouper thing.
Yeah, because
Not not
Grouper,
that
I mean,
I'm not that I'm comparing myself to Liz
no, no,
Harris at
no.
all.
And I'm not really either. It's just that idea of like she could be saying anything and yet you feel it. Um,
Yeah,
you know what I
she could
mean?
be saying anything, and yet it's the saddest thing you ever heard.
Right. It just breaks your heart, and she could be singing about
Yeah,
nothing. Like who knows? But with this album, though, I mean, like you say, the lyrics are printed. You are updating lyric sites even, but even beyond that, like you can make them out for the most part.
yeah,
So it is cloaked in this effect, but it's not hidden under it.
for sure. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
definitely.
Um, and then you mentioned the guitar as well. The guitar progressions. I mean, Head starts off the album. It's the first full song on the album.
Yeah.
Um, and immediately I felt like I was taken to like late '90s Pacific Northwest, like emo folk rock.
Yeah.
Like I was getting like early Modest Mouse vibes from the guitar melodies, or like
Hmm.
Red House Painters. Not that we have to name anyone who's in Red House Painters. Um, but that vibe, that like kind of emo adjacent, folk adjacent vibe. I mean, is that sort of an instrumental quality that you typically like?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like
Yeah.
one of my favorite bands of all time is the band Seam.
Oh, okay.
Um, and I mean also Red House Painters. And honestly, like Sun Kill Moon. Like
I know, it's such a shame.
it is a shame. But like all that type of music,
Right.
I'm a huge fan of that stuff, and like the early Modest Mouse stuff too. Like, and I just think about if that, that music had the vocal treatment that I'm like really interested in also.
Mm.
Um, I was like, wow, that would be so sick. But yeah, it was definitely intentional. That's like the music that I don't know, like really formative kind of
Yeah.
listening for me.
Yeah. And I mean, there are, like I said, only about half the songs have the lead vocal. So, I mean, if people really loved a softer focus and then maybe get a little nervous when they hear something like Head, I mean, it's not like you've abandoned that school of music making.
No, I was
It is
too,
still there.
yeah, I was too cowardly to totally abandon it. It was gonna be a record of all songs, but
Maybe next time.
I do have another one, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I care a little bit too much about what people think
I think
about
it's
me.
hard not to. I don't know. I think people who say they absolutely don't are probably lying a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I can confidently and honestly say I don't read the reviews,
Hmm.
but I do ask people who have read them if they're nice.
Yeah, you're like, give me the one sentence version.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so I mentioned Head is the first full song on the record. The first actual track is this voice recording. Um, it's a man's voice. I don't know anything
Mhm.
about this, but it is a man's voice, I think,
Yeah,
leaving what is sort of a voice memo or message, and it's like it starts right away, and it is like shockingly bluntly sad.
yeah.
Um, are you able to tell me the story behind this voice recording and how it wound up as the opening track to the album?
Yeah, I mean, so the person reading it is my friend Theodore Kill Schaefer. He's like a makes like a composer and producer and stuff. He lives in, I think, New York now.
Hmm.
But his music is really great. And he makes like ambient music, or at least he used to. I don't know if he wants to say he does that anymore. But at a time I wrote this text for a different project, and I had like 8 or 9 different friends of mine read it,
Hmm.
um, with pretty loose instructions on how to read it, just kind of like a general pace. But I have, 8 or 9 different people reading that text. And then, they recorded it and sent it to me in the computer. And I just liked the way that his sounded best. But
Hmm.
I wrote the text and then
Okay.
sent it out for people to read. And it's sad and quite bleak. But it
Yeah.
is like pretty autobiographical, and like it's definitely real.
Yeah.
It's not like this super um exaggerated type thing or like this acting thing. The people reading it, I probably don't feel it as much, but
Right.
yeah, I definitely wrote it, and it ended up just kind of, it seems like a good fit for the beginning of the record because the rest of the record is also sad.
It does seem, I mean, you said it's a pretty personal set of lyrics. It is a pretty melancholy album. Um, and yet you use this sort of vocal effect that we typically align more with like, clubby or hip hop
Mhm.
songs. So that sort of, I don't know, it's quite an interesting contrast. And then to open up the album with such a stark, sad sentiment, to use not to use the album title, but um I guess, were you trying to sort of like set the stage and kind of lay your cards out?
Yeah, I like records that have like song records that start with something that isn't a song.
Hmm.
Um, and and as far as like other types of music, like, you know, rock records that start with like an intro track, I really like, and
Yeah, Bright
a
Eyes
lot,
does those a lot.
yeah, and like hip hop too, like
Hmm.
where there's like interludes and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's like really interesting. and also just like it's cool to see people do like different types of music on the same record.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, if I start with if I start with this, it's kind of like, you know, something closer to what I do normally. Maybe it'll be like a when the song kicks in
Hmm.
after that track, people will be like, okay, well the first track was pretty good. I don't know about the song stuff, but hopefully we get back to something a little bit different.
Well,
Yeah.
it's sort of a link almost
Hmm.
to the last set of songs we've heard from you, and then and you settle us in after this voice memo, we get sort of an ambient passage, and then head starts, and it's quite different. So yeah, I'm hoping people will uh stick it out because it's not. I don't know. It's hard to describe because like we're talking about it like it's this total genre shift, and in some ways it is, but like it still sounds like a Claire Rousay album.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm glad that you recognize that. That feels good.
I do think so because even with I feel like even if you didn't use the autotune effect, there's something about the spatial quality of it, and then the interludes sort of, or the instrumental passages in between the songs that I don't know, it doesn't feel that divorced from a softer focus, at least not as much as people who've only heard the single might think.
Totally, yeah. And I also think the single, like, it has that ambient type middle part.
Right.
Um, that, if that middle part was like 30 minutes long, you'd be like, oh, that's like a Claire record. Um, which, I guess makes me feel a little bit better about like, oh, like, my music can kind of stand out
Yeah.
in that way. But I'm really excited to play it live because this whole like back and forth between more like songwriter type stuff and
Hmm.
then instrumental passages, like it's going to be emphasized and like, you know, really like, I don't know, focused on like in a live setting.
Yeah. I mean, do
Yeah.
you have a sort of plan or a vision of how this live show will look? Because it does seem like a record that to me sounds like it may be hard to transition to the stage, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to transition to the stage because I made it so detailed and elaborate.
Hmm.
But for most of the shows, I have a band.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, yeah, and also for most of the shows, I ordered like the photos that are featured on like the LP, like the cover and like the insert and stuff like that. Um, the bedroom that was created for the photo shoot for the cover is being recreated on stage every night.
Oh
So I'm
wow,
like bringing a bed and walls and stuff with me.
that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work. But
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
should yeah, it should be cool. I'm like, I don't know, going out on a limb with this one for sure.
I mean, it seems like it's the one to do that on because I feel like a softer focus, I don't think it's incidental that I personally that's when I first heard of your work. I
Mhm.
feel like a softer focus was sort of a little bit of a breakthrough album.
Yeah,
In
definitely.
terms of like coverage and visibility and like people finally like noticing what you've been up to. Um, and now this record is sort of like, okay, so I arrived maybe a little bit before, but like here's this one now.
Yeah,
And
totally.
and I feel like you may like it's kind of a swing of a record too, so you may as well swing on
Yeah,
stage.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I also just like trying new things.
Yeah.
And even over the last like 6 months, I've been trying a lot of new stuff, like in terms of writing music for ensembles and like
Hmm.
I don't know, just like doing different projects, producing for people, things like that. So it's like I was like, oh, like maybe I'll take another chance and try to do this record and do a show that, reflects the record as best as I can do that.
Yeah. Um, you have a lot of players on this record who kind of come in and help bolster it, whether it's strings or certain percussion or keyboards. But um, the other single that just came out quite recently is the closer with Meg Duffy from Hand Habits, um,
Yeah,
which is the closing track, and they play some lovely guitar.
yeah.
Um, how did that end up happening? Did you guys know each other for a while before this, or did you invite them?
We did know each other before this. I met Meg at we like knew of each other. Uh, but I met Meg, I think very briefly. They came to a show that I played at South by Southwest a couple years ago. They were like hanging out with like a crew of people that like our friend group or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I think they caught like part of the set, which is funny because I was actually playing a little bit of the autotune pop stuff during that set. Um but we met there and then they're like, okay, cool, I gotta go play my show or be a rock star somewhere else.
Right.
And I was like, cool, cool, it's good to meet you. And then shortly after that, I ended up moving to Los Angeles, and Meg also lives out here, and we actually only live like 10 minutes away from each other.
Oh.
So yeah, it was like one of the first times we hung out, um, or maybe the first time we hung out after I moved here. I came over and I was like, "Do you want to like work on music? What do you want to do?" And then I was like, "I got this song that feels like it, I don't know, needs something else. It needs like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel full. It doesn't feel done. It feels like a demo." And then
Mm.
Meg like shreds all over it. And then we picked through some takes. And I think like I went home with the files and then mixed it on like my kitchen table. And then I was like, okay, cool, done. So shout out Meg Duffy for making my song go from demo to making the cut on the record.
Yeah, shout out to Meg Duffy. I mean, in general, shout out to Meg Duffy. I mean, I Hand Habits as a musical outfit, I do think is maybe a little underrated, and I think Meg Duffy is especially underrated as a musician.
I agree. Meg
So,
Duffy's amazing. It's a
yeah,
true like um a true force and a rock
yeah,
star.
yeah.
Meg has like major rock star energy, which I like to emphasize.
I know. I think I gotta get Hand Habits on here. Maybe next album cycle, I'll invite Meg on.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure they would love to do it. They love talking.
That's good because not everyone does, and I swear some people agree to come on a podcast and then don't want to talk, and I'm just like, why? Why are you? Why are you here? I don't know. I've had a couple quite reticent people, and it's tricky. So if someone likes to talk, all the better.
Yeah, no, I mean it's nice. It's also, I don't know, at least the podcast format when it's like an interview, I guess. It's like the you know I don't know. It should be like a equal weight shared, but if you're inviting somebody else to come give their perspective on something,
Yeah,
it's maybe expected that they talk a
yeah,
little bit more than the person asking a question. But
yeah.
that's just me.
No, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Um, so I am curious about your musical background because you mentioned that you have played songs and written songs of various kinds for most of your life. Um, when would you say I mean, roughly, when and how would you say you started getting into more of the ambient world of like building sound and playing with sound as opposed to just like trying from the get-go to be like a folk singer, a pop singer, and just running with that?
Yeah, I played in bands for a long time. And I was a drummer primarily. And the bands I was in as a kid, like as every year I got older, my band would like get a little bit more extreme. So it'd be like, okay, we're like a normal rock band. It'd be like, now we're a rock band that has like weird guitar solos. And now we're a rock band that has like a weird synth thing, or we're using all these effects, or like we're playing really loud, or like we're
Hmm.
noise rock now. And it's just like kind of getting more and more extreme. And then eventually I was like, man, it'd be really cool to be able to experiment with all this stuff by myself and not have to like wait for band practice. So I got like into doing like more like avant-garde free improvised music. But it wasn't really until like COVID,
Hmm.
when I was living alone in a house with like this it was like I ended a relationship that was really long, and I moved into a house and I was living alone for the first time in a really long time. In this weird house with like this huge yard. And then COVID happened, and then I was like, okay, I live in a whole house by myself. It's cheap. Nobody's doing anything. Maybe I should like use this government money that I'm getting because the restaurant I worked at shut down, and start recording like music similar to like what I listen to.
Hmm.
Because I was listening to a lot of like electronic music at the time. I was like really into like Felicia Atkinson and like Sarah Davachi and things like
Hmm.
that, who are friends of mine now, which is so funny that like when you start making music like somebody,
Yeah.
uh, they gravitate towards you.
Yeah.
So sometimes.
Sometimes.
uh, yeah, but I was like listening to this type of music and I was like, oh wow, like I'm really into this.
Hmm.
How hard could it be? It turns out it's really hard. But I had like a good year or so of, the world kind of pausing. And I was able to like churn stuff out and like work through things
Hmm.
by myself, like 2019, 20, 21,
Yeah.
which isn't that long ago in the
No,
grand
it's
scheme.
it's not. I mean, it kind of feels like it is at this point,
Yeah. The
but
world's much different, but in terms of time, I don't know.
yeah.
There's records that I'm like, that's not that old. And they're like, people are like, that came out in 2010. I was like,
Yeah, it's like
damn.
20th anniversary of you're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, damn, when is like somebody from the Strokes gonna die of natural causes?
Serious? No, really.
It's crazy.
Seriously, I know. Um, yeah, it's funny. It's funny you mention like assuming it might be easier than it is to make music like this. Um, I do think that's such a misconception. Um, take Sarah Davachi for example, because I'm just a little more familiar with her work, but like I think to someone who has no concept of what goes into pieces like hers at all, you might press play and be like, she's just like it's just like playing a note, you know?
Yeah,
And it's so not. And so much about it is just beyond what I think people typically expect from like regular like pop or rock music that they end up just presuming that means it must be easy.
totally. Yeah, I mean, like minimal doesn't mean like minimal effort or skill.
Right. And I mean
Um,
try making a grouper album because you won't be able to, or try making a Sarah Davachi
yeah.
album because you won't be able to, because so much of it is about the composition. It's about literally the tools in your hand, what you're recording with, the space you're in. So it is I don't know, it's such a misconception.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm like on the beginner side of a lot of that type of stuff. Like
Hmm.
I I ask a lot of people a lot of questions who are way more advanced as far as like gear and recording and stuff goes, because I'm still, learning. Like a lot of people like went to school and have like master's degrees or PhDs in like sound art and all this
Right.
shit. And
Right.
I did not go to college for that, or really go to college. I quit like as soon as I could quit. Um, but yeah, I'm grateful for like people out there like that who are making that stuff and know so much about it, because it is really deep. It's like a deep world, and it has a deep history too,
Oh
of
yeah, for
people who have
sure.
been studying it for so long. So it's cool. And with Sarah's music in particular, it's like, you know, she did a concert here in LA. I was not able to go, but some of the people that played in the ensemble that performed for the concert also played in an ensemble that I wrote for the next day. Or no, it was the same day, I think.
Hmm.
Um, it was something crazy like that, but it was just like going from that. They're like, yeah, it's like a really intense piece. It requires like all this technique on my instrument that's like, rarely utilized, and like it's very intense. And I'm like, yeah, like people don't think about that. Like writing for other instruments and then being so aware of like this really niche technique that's required to make this very specific sound in this very specific way
Yeah.
and all of that. But yeah, yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, and it's nice that you were able to sort of find yourself having access to that community of other artists and other sound makers, because I feel like that is part of it, is like so many people try something and then feel sort of just sort of out in the wind, and like it's nice to have people who, because I feel like people are so much nicer than people think they're going to be.
Totally,
Um,
yeah.
like when I first started this podcast, I interviewed Thor Harris. Um,
Oh yeah, there's a buddy.
yeah, who's such a nice person, but like he basically was like, at some point I just started asking people if they would wanted me to work on their song. Like I came to them and I was like asking them, because the worst that someone can say is no. Like no one's going to like hate you for asking.
Yeah.
And more often than not, you might get a yes. And I don't know, I just feel like that's such a forgotten thing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, like my big thing right now is trying to connect with all these people that are my heroes who are getting older.
Mm,
Just as there have been so many people whose art has influenced me, and I've missed out on the chance to like interact with them, even like in small ways.
yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, like I'm starting to reach out to people. Like I was like, how much work would it be to get in touch with like this person who's in their 70s and like is pretty active on the internet, but like
Hmm.
it's scary to reach out to somebody, and it's not like somebody super famous or anything like that, but it's somebody whose work means a lot to me. It's like
Yeah.
it's really not that hard to be like, does anybody out there have have this person's email address? I just want to shoot them an email and be like, hey, I don't want anything from you. I just wanted to let you know that your work is really good, and like I really appreciate all the stuff that you do and that
Yeah.
you've done.
Yeah.
And yeah, more often than not, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know who you are. If you ever want to do something, like that'd be great."
Yeah, which is like mind blowing.
Yeah, no, it's truly crazy, like how many times I've reached out to people just to say like, "Hey, I really like this thing you do."
Yeah.
Um, and they're like, "Come to Australia, play some shows." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Now I'm going to Australia to play like all these shows." And it happened because I reached out to somebody and said like, "Hey, that drone concert you did 10 years ago was really sick."
Hmm. Is it Lawrence English?
It is the
I,
best
I'll
person in the
I'll
world.
I'll take that out if you want me to.
No, 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 no. You can keep it in there. Lawrence is the best. I just
Yeah.
sent him this record. When I was touring in Australia the last time, I was playing the end of my set. I would do like a whole, like a normal ambient set, and then I would play head at the end.
Hmm.
And when the single came out, Lawrence texted me and he was like, "Hey, that song's finally out. Congrats!" And I was like, "Yeah, here's the whole record."
Yeah. No,
I
he's
think
he's a very nice person.
he's so nice. He's the
Yeah.
best. Yeah.
And hilarious too.
Very funny and super knowledgeable. Like another
Yeah.
person whose music you could just be like, "Oh yeah, it's just holding down some notes," but he's
But
like,
it's yeah. It's
yeah,
not
the
it's not
amount.
that at all.
No, not at all. He knows so much about so many things. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, that's been one of the nice things of doing this show is like, I mean, obviously it is true that more people say no than yes. Um, and it was never really intended to be just like a music podcast. I think it's just that musicians, on all scales are like less precious about their time. I don't know how else to put it, but like, when I first started it, I wanted it to be sort of people from all disciplines, including film and television or acting or writing. And
Mhm.
like those people are almost impossible to secure. Um, Whether they're super busy or just because they might have more, I don't know, like, I don't know if it's more deliberate shaping of like where and to whom they give their time. Um, but musicians have always been very nice. And it's nice that I've gotten to talk to some people who, like Lawrence, for you, like people who have sort of shaped me. Um,
Totally.
and it's weird to get to do. I mean, I'm almost at 4 years of the show and it still feels weird a little bit. Like just yesterday, I interviewed Sam Beam of Iron and Wine.
Yeah.
And I told him, I didn't want to embarrass him, but I told him like, you're like how I learned guitar when I was a teenager, like listening to
Right.
your first couple of records and like learning your songs. And to come full circle, um, half a life later is like it's crazy, but it's nice when you meet people who are sort of titans for you and they don't let you down.
Yeah, no, definitely. It just means so much when people kind of come through for you in the way
Mhm.
that, I don't know, in like a real life way that like their art has come through for you so many
Yeah,
times.
yeah. The
Yeah,
human
it's
the
pretty.
human element shows up and it's reassuring.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of people who, that is not true of, but
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I have more, as time goes on, I have more faith in people and the goodness that is inside of people than I
Yeah.
used to.
Yeah, I think I jive with that. It's true. And I think I am, like I said, it feels weird still having the show, but I do think I've gotten more comfortable with even inviting certain people. Like 3 years ago, I might not have invited Sam, for example, because I would
Totally,
be
yeah.
too nervous. Um, but then when, the new Iron and Wine album was announced, I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask. And he was very, very, very nice. So that was nice. Um, but I still have like my white whales, like
Yeah.
Joanna Newsom, who I'm literally staring at a poster of her up on my wall. Like it'd be very strange,
Yeah. I
you
mean, but
know?
also there's so many people too that like they're at like what like a level of celebrity, but also like
Hmm.
this level of like I don't know. There's so many people that I really dig that I'm like I'd never be able to talk to them because
Right.
like they don't do interviews.
Yeah, no, it's very rare for Joanna Newsom and some other people that I would love to talk to do interviews. And there's like an unknowable quality. And it's
Yeah.
a little intimidating.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I mean I have a track on this new record that references the Broken Social Scene song.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Um
Love her spit.
yeah, and like I submitted it to the label and Bettina Richards who runs Thrill Jockey was like, "Oh, yeah, I know Kevy and I can connect you with Kevin." And I was like,
Has he
"Oh,
has he
really?"
heard this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They bumped it in the van, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, we emailed a little bit. We need to talk. We have plans to talk
Hmm.
like an extended thing, but we've exchanged some emails just being like, I was like, hey, here's the song. And he's like, hey, it sounds good. And believe it or not, he releases a new solo record. Like he put it out, I don't know, like
Yeah.
I
I
think
I I interviewed him around that album.
yeah, and guess what? Autotune on the one of the songs.
Yep.
So
That's
guess
so
what?
true.
Yeah. Well, I keep hearing it, and then Faye Webster just dropped another single. Two
Oh,
of
yeah.
the songs on her record auto-tune, and
Oh, okay.
I'm like, God damn it!
Yeah.
Everybody is fucking coming
Well,
for my toolbox.
you know
I'm
what
just
they're
kidding.
not doing is putting it on every damn song. So you
That's
you can hold that over them.
yeah, that's true.
You're like,
I'm
"Oh, that's
like,
cute. That's cute. Watch this."
no, but no, it's cool to see. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's sort of
Uh,
leaving the arenas that we usually found it in. It is cropping up in other genres now.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's super cool, but I mean, even when like, I don't know, like when really big bands, like I think this was especially true, like, uh, when that record, what's it fucking called? For Emma Forever Ago,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like when that came out, so many huge rock and pop people were like making like quote unquote lo-fi,
Mm-hmm.
like bedroom style recording music and then playing arenas.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like if something's hip, everybody wants a little piece of it, which is cool because it's like, I don't know, that kind of reinforces like
Yeah.
the collective, like everybody just wants to be included. Everybody wants to try something out.
And incidentally, Justin Vernon absolutely used autotune on that record.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go.
From the source. Not really, but yeah, it's cool to just, I don't know. It's cool to be part of or to see other people doing something and be like, okay, cool. I'm not like totally out on my own
Right, right.
here. Yeah.
Like there is an element maybe where part of you wants to maybe partially be out on your own, but it is so vulnerable to be out on your own and doing something that's like unlike what almost anyone else is doing. So there's a little bit of overlap now.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I don't know. If anything, I'm just like, let's get those plays, baby. Let's get those Spotify plays. Get me on the autotune pop rock playlist.
Oh my gosh, yes, get you those pennies.
Get me those pennies. I need them.
All right. Well, we should remind people, Sentiment, your new record. I have no idea what number record this is for you, like the 88th, I don't know.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's out April 19th on Thrill Jockey. Tour is in the works. It's going to be weird and cool and beautiful, I'm sure. Um, Thank you, Claire, very much for spending a
Yeah.
little bit of time with me to talk about this very interesting record. I hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, of course. Take care.
You do.
See ya.
Bye.